100 Days in Palworld. But first, our goals. Number 1, beat all the tower bosses. Number 2, make a full work base. Number 3, make a super chill base. And on day 60, I'll start breeding, because with breeding, this would be easy. My stats are 2 times XP, and with every boss I beat, it will double. Hatching speed will be set to 10 times. With every boss I beat, the hatching speed will half. POW capture rate is at 2. POW appearance rate is at 1.5, with POW stamina reduction at 0.5. The day speed is set to 2 times. I hope you enjoy. Day 1, I opened a chest and got bombs. Started with the basics, axe, pickaxe, torch, the basics. Me and Lane met up, and we continued to do the quest mission, the basic stuff, some more of it. Bow and arrow were required. Day 2, started making a temp base. Just a base setup so we have somewhere to stay for the time being. We'll look for a better base later on. Got a gum moss and a foxbark. At the end of day 2, I made beds so we can sleep. Day 3, got a panglet and a skirmiss or something, or creamus. Made spears and arrows. Went out and got a chickpea, cativa, and 5 lamb balls. Day 4, made a lot of stations like the POW work gear, and more just stuff like that we need. Day 5, got a lot of POWs because at first a goal was to get all POWs, but you need to beat bosses that you have to summon in, so that's not a goal anymore. Day 6 started with a feed bag, which is a really good item, and then went out to find our forever base. Found a town and took some quests and did some, for that XP. Day 7, I found the thugs on the map. Found a pretty good spot for our base to go as well. Day 8 to 12 was working on the new base. I didn't update the day counter and say like day 8 to 12, but that's all I did between days 8 to 12 was just work on the base, so. Day 13, found our first shiny and finished the base and moving all of the materials from the old base to our new base. Day 14, went out on a little adventure looking for new POWs and stuff like that. At the end of day 14, I got our beds placed down, ready to take a well-deserved rest. Day 15, prep to fight Zoe, the first tower boss. At the end of day 15, we started to fight the tower boss, and it went into the night. Day 16, I put this clip in because Lane did not want to mine any ore, but wanted to use all the ingots at our base, but would not mine this rock no matter if his life depended on it. He just refused to do this, even though I told him, hey, mine this rock every time it respawns so we can get a lot of ore for later on, but he was just like, no. But then he turned around to use the ingots to make himself stuff instead of me, even though I gathered all the ore. At the end of day 16, I got my favorite pal in the game. Day 17 was spent doing quests all day for as much XP as we can get before we need to fight the next boss. Day 18 made a saddle for Chillet, my favorite pal. Went out on an adventure to catch new pals because at this point I still wanted to catch all of them. Day 19 got some pals and finished the adventure I went on. Day 20 began to prep for Pain King and then for the next tower boss. Also, I upgraded the base while I was here. Day 21 finished prep and then we went out to find Pain King. Day 22 we started to fight Pain King. We beat Pain King and then we went out to find Lily. Day 23, I beat Lily. Went back to the base and had to replace the egg incubator for the mission. Day 24, worked more on the base to upgrade it and just for more efficiency with cows and etc. Yeah, that just happened. Let's slow motion zoom in as much as we can. Yeah, that was Lane's Captiva that shot at a Memorist, and he started to stomp the fuck out of our base. We did kill him, but Day 25, continue to make more plots for food, upgrade the base, etc., just like day 24. Day 26, I made a cooking pot for more food accessibility. Got a power statue placed down. At the end of day 26, or I guess at the end of the night of day 26, I accidentally killed Lunaris, which was a pal I really needed to get because it's pretty good at handiwork. Day 27, I'm alone for the rest of this adventure. Me and Aaron had a falling out, which I made a video on. So yeah, no more Aaron / Lane, but we're still gonna get this done as fast as we can, and probably a bit better and easier without him. I started working on the base and prepping to fight the next boss in the free time while putting down as much as I can for just some more base efficiency, level the base up to get more pals, to then have better stuff, etc. Day 28, I made some ranches to place down for Cake so we can breed later in the future. I also made medical supplies for Borgo because he hurt himself somehow. Day 29, made a little platform to place our ranches on top of. The rest of day 29 was out getting chickpeas and lamb balls so I can condense them, because the more stars or the more condensed the chickpea and the lamb balls are, the more wool and eggs they will produce in the ranch over time. Day 30 got Chen my chickpea and Meep my lamb ball up to 1 star. Moved the hot spring so it's more available to all pals. Day 31, I spent 2 to 3 minutes looking for a lucky. It was stuck in the wall, but it was a lucky lamb ball. Caught this dinosaur, which gave me wheat seeds so we can have more wheat for our cake. Day 32, I got some wheat platforms placed down so we can get more wheat, and I went out to get as many palladium fragments as I can. Day 33, I started making a poison crossbow and poison arrows because I had an idea of using poison to do more damage against the boss. Day 34, a meteor fell and landed, so that could give us some pretty good loot and or some pretty good pals. Got sulfur for gunpowder, and I wasted my time trying to catch this water pal, and you'll see why. Day 35 was spent prepping the boss fight and getting more poison arrows. Day 36, went out and did the mission to get XP, and so it's just off my screen. Day 37, went out for a good handy working pal. Day 38 started with me getting a better fire pal, and then I continued to work on our base. Day 39 had me out getting a good mining pal, and more prep work to fight the next boss. Day 40 got another good handy working pal. And did more base work. Day 41 to 43, we fixed the day counter first off, and second off, just more work around the base, you know, the maintenance, you know, random bullshit. Day 44, went out to get a Grisbolt, and that took all fucking day to do. I don't know why, but it truly did. It was a pain in my butt. Day 45, started doing the Zoe side quest to get Zoe and Grisbolt. Day 46, finished the quest for Zoe. Day 47, worked on the base so it would be more efficient. Day 48, the base has power, and the Ultra Lab collab happened because this was essentially a month after I originally started because I am lazy. Day 49, and I'm a clinker. I also chopped down trees to get fiber. Day 50, halfway there, and we got bees to make cake later in the future. Day 51, going out for the next boss. It's way too hot. Day 52, I'm stupid. A torch in the desert. Anyways, we get ready to fight the boss. Day 53, the boss was defeated, and I just worked on the base a little bit more. Day 54, got a level 2 mining site placed down, and this is also where I found out that wood in the crusher makes fiber. I felt pretty stupid. Day 55, found coal and got enough for a coal site. Day 56, I got a coal site placed down. Day 57, prepared for the next boss all day. Day 58, got a dumb mud and got a few of them so I can start it for more pal oil. Day 59 to 60, I did more work on the base and I was preparing for the next boss fight. Day 61 and 62, I went out to find quartz, found some, and then got as much as I could. Day 63, worked on the base a little bit more, and continued to prepare for the next boss fight. Day 64 to 65, I killed a bunch of pals, went out and got more quartz, and that was really it. Day 66, got a fire pal and got a new food maker. Day 67, I got a breeding station placed, or a breeding place placed, whatever it is. Day 68, and I upgraded the base a little bit. At the end of day 68, I started to get Jormungandr, a pretty good water pal. Day 69, nice. Breeding starts. I started working on breeding to get more pals and better pals. Day 70, time to fight Marcus. Day 71, I beat Marcus, and that's all I did. Day 72 to 78, I remade the work base, giving us a little bit more space to work with. Day 79, the work base was mostly done, and I started more breeding. Day 80, I started boss prep, and then the breeding started as well. Day 81, got a POW doctor table placed, and I went out and got just a bunch of bounties. Day 82, more boss prepping and breeding. Day 83, bounties, just bounties. I went out and got as many as I could. Day 84 to 88 was getting bounties, breeding, and preparing to fight the next boss. Day 89. Went out to level up my pals for the next boss fight. Day 90, last minute boss prep, and then I started to fight the boss at the end of the night. Day 91. I die, but revenge is red. Time to continue to boss prep even harder. The rest of day 91 and to 93, I just continued boss prepping. I sold nails for a lot of money and just continued to work and get as much as I can get done as fast as I can to get back and kill the boss. Day 94, I tried 2 different times and I lost both times. Day 95 to 99. I give up at this point, but this video won't end until I complete all my goals, which I can't beat the bosses, so time to make a shield base because we already have a work base. Day 100. Last time to beat Victor. Unfortunately, I lost again. So we went and got Zoe and had one last nap. So I didn't beat all the bosses. I had 2 more to beat, including Victor. I could have made the days longer, but I felt like that would have been easier. So the next time I do this, whether I do the random 100 days or just another 100 days, I will make the days longer, but not by much. With this video's end, though, I hope you all enjoy. Thank you all for watching to the very end, and much love.